26, everyone.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Amazing. We have a lot to cover today. So if you're watching this on the recap, stay tuned. There's a lot of things that released in December that over the holidays we were busy shipping. A lot of things to talk about regarding 2026. And if it's your first time watching, um, I'm Pearson, this is Bilal, and we do this every Wednesday. It's a weekly Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We talk about everything that we've released in the last week, talk about what's upcoming, show you how to use the platform, tips, tricks, everything under the sun about Jellypod. And it's a way to kind of connect with you all. You can leave questions, we'll answer them in the chat. And yeah, and there's popcorn provided by Noel in the
Ooh,
in the
uh,
chat.
happy
So
2026, Noel.
happy 2026. Well,
Yeah.
okay, let's just kick it off right now because after this, we'll be sending out an email blast about some of these things. So if you're watching this on the recap, hello as well. So yeah, let's just talk about a few of the things that we released. It makes sense probably to share my screen. Let's do this. Sweet. And I know in the past we've had some issues here about the layout being weird.
Yeah. Also, not
Null.
not as new, but still, like, if you guys probably noticed, our page has changed a lot. We're going to a cool blue rather than the dashing warm yellow that we had before. So it's like giving it a nice paint job. I like it. It looks pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I like this too. I think it just gave us some little bit more flexibility on all these like features and stuff, and we'll be expanding a lot of the offerings. So um, it helped set up to be better there. But yeah, Noel, is this okay? Looks good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so as I log in here, I should have blur my emails. Don't spam me, please.
Yeah.
Um,
All the girls are
uh,
going to be emailing you.
yes. Okay, well, first things first, you might have noticed this when you get to the new episode page, it's changed slightly. Um, just is a little bit of a visual improvement here. Same concept from before. You have your hosts that you can select for this specific episode. So your hosts are derived from your podcast series. So when you create your podcast, you select your host that you want to create those podcasts. But you can also adjust them here for a specific episode if you want to bring in a guest or some new host or remove a host for a specific episode. You can do that here. So now that's on the bottom left hand corner. Um, we added this button called Add Source. It used to be a file where you just click that, it popped up the file selector. And now it's a general purpose Add Source button. So if you click that, you can upload sources by dragging and dropping. You can click to add a website. You can click to add a YouTube video, and you can also paste text directly here. Um, that used to be just a file button. Now you can very clearly know what are all the sources that you can upload for this episode, starting from files and websites, other things. And we'll be adding in 2026 new types of sources here. So keep a lookout on this page to see like, hey, maybe we added a new source type that you could upload. And hint, Spotify, podcasts, RSS, maybe. We'll see. Um, so the other things, so sources, settings, this is where deep search is. It's hidden here, so under one button click, turn that on if you want your agent to use external web research to generate your podcast. We'll add other settings here in the future, but for now, it's just a deep search. And you can also still change your podcast in the top right hand corner. So that's this page. Went over that. Probably was everybody here already kind of knew a lot of this stuff, but that's that. Do you think think we covered this good?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Do we talk about the podcast data sources? Like, if you wanted to
no, so
that.
we'll go there. Amazing. So let's look. So I have these podcasts, um, and sorry, I was looking at the chat window, but I think this is may have a podcast source. Let me see. Nope, not this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. And Noel,
This
to your
one.
Noel
Oh yeah,
asked a
there we go.
question about if you can transcribe a YouTube video. We do that. We extract the YouTube video for the outline and the script, but we indirectly do that, but you don't get the transcription yourself. But if
Yeah,
you, I mean, that could be something we add. If you want, that feature.
yeah. So yeah, you can add a YouTube video there, and we'll get the transcript from it. Um, but yeah, so I just want to point out here. So look at this. So I selected my first podcast, Crypto Uncovered, but let's change this to 25 Days of Christmas, which was a podcast I created over December. And look, we have a source. The source is already there. How is it there? It's because it's a podcast source. So now, instead of just having the ability to add sources at the episode level, you can add sources at the podcast level. So I talked about this. I believe I talked about this 2 weeks ago on that short weekly Wednesday. Um, but just to reiterate now, you can add sources to both the podcast series, which becomes global source context for all episodes, and you can also still add files for the specific episode. So that's why this one here, you can't delete it because it's at the source level. And then the episode level, you can delete. So we'll add one there.
Yes. And where do we add these sources?
So great question. If you go to your podcast, you click on Edit Podcast or Create a New Podcast. You go through this new and improved wizard. So this is how you create and edit your host, or create and edit your podcasts. The name, your description, which you can use rich text now. So you can bold, you can add links, you can add bullets. This will all appear on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any place that supports those rich text descriptions. So, it's great for show notes. So if you have a link and you want to put a link in your podcast description, you can do that now.
Yeah.
But if you click continue, here it is. Here's where you can add what we said is your knowledge base. This could be podcast sources. We might change the title of this page, but this is where you can upload sources that will get attached to the podcast versus the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the data sources. I would, a good way to think about this is like, what if there's a common denominator of documents you feel like should be part of every episode, you can think about that. If you're making a NASA podcast, it could be some general documents and stuff. And then for the episode, you can have this actual space mission podcast, like sources you add for
Right.
that. So hopefully this is very helpful. It saves you a lot of time. Noel asked a question about if we can refer to previous episodes. No, you can't do that directly. We actually do that for you under the hood, not directly. So there is some context, but you can't. But it's not like oh, take this. Like there's no specific way to say, oh, look at episode 27 and then parse that out. I mean, maybe something we've I won't say much about it, but there's a couple of things we're talking about how to help you edit a podcast, which might play a role.
Right.
Where previous episodes might play a bigger role, but for now, yeah,
Totally.
it's just the source documents.
I think, there's some exciting stuff that we're working on to make what we'd say like the podcast creation agent a little bit more powerful, giving you more flexibility to like do things like that. So hey, refer back to those previous episodes, and maybe we can pull in those episodes dynamically if we need to. And you've asked us to do that, and all these other things. So yeah, it's super cool. I one of the things that I like to do here that I found was really helpful is that I just create a podcast with one core source. Maybe that's a Wikipedia page about space and like Mars or something. I add one source, and then when I go and I create the specific episodes, I can just say, hey, focus specifically on the first section of that page. and the next episode would be like focus on section 2. And so you can just literally have one source, and then you can break up that one single source into multiple episodes just by prompting. Say, hey, focus on this section. The next episode, focus on this section. And it really works well.
Yeah. Very
So,
cool.
And then, yeah, Justin, that was for you. Justin, that feature was something that you asked for. And
This is why you guys
we
hop
built
on.
it.
We prioritize the people who hop on the live stream. So ask away.
Yes. And if you haven't seen this, also, there's just like some additional settings. Most of the times, you don't need to change them, but here's all the additional settings that you can do for your podcast, like update your author. That could be like your org or your name or whatever. But yeah, so that's that. So cool. I think that's that. And then also, I want to touch on this, Justin. So I know we mentioned the rich text before, but you can also do this for the episodes. So if you go into maybe, let's see, this one, Christmas traditions in the UK, the description here is also now rich text. So it used to be like you can only do rich text on the podcast if you saw this like a week ago, but now you can also do rich text on the episode description itself. So really good for show notes. If you want to put some links in your description that shows up on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever, like YouTube, you can literally put like link to Jellypod and go. There you go. Oop. There, and then you can link it
Yeah.
like that.
Super powerful.
So
Awesome.
cool. Okay, that's that. Let's see, what else did we release?
I think we did release a free tool which called Podcast Clip Generator. I think that was pretty cool. We can we don't have to go through, but like maybe we can show the page
Yeah.
by end what it does.
Yeah, totally. We have this like free tool that we built if you have an actual podcast, and it is nope.
That's a good catch. Maybe I should add it here, but it should be the first one here.
Podcast clip generator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what this does is like, you guys know, when you create a Jellypod podcast, we have these templates for you for that. What we wanted to do was like give you a way to just upload any audio and be able to use our templates, so it could be a real podcast. It could be, whatever, like, a meeting you had. But if you want to create like amazing social media, level, like, viral worthy clips, you can come here, just upload the audio and upload an image, a cover image. And what it does is if you go down, scroll down there, well, maybe there should be an example, but what it'll do is basically let you choose from the 4 templates we have, which is classic captions, karaoke, spotlight, and you can generate up to a 5-minute clip from the audio file. So just
Right.
simple, but hopefully useful, and
Right.
we'll get hopefully more people using our templates. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, totally. So if you have a real podcast or traditionally recorded one, you can come here and create these clips. So try it out. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I forgot, but there's also an AI highlights feature. So if you have a longer podcast, what it'll let you do is it'll auto select like segments that will it suggest that this is a good highlight from a 1 hour clip. Maybe these 2 minutes here. So just a helpful way to get those parse out clips from a long conversation.
Totally. That's super exciting. And super cool. And it's just like if you haven't tried out clips before, definitely do this. So if you're creating a podcast episode and you're on a draft, you could just export sections as clips. So let me just go to one that has audio. Nope, it doesn't have audio. Yeah, this one has audio. So if I just click create clip here, I can just select, and I can select a section, and you can create like these short clips that are 51 seconds, depending on how long the little section is. So if you haven't created a clip, do it. It's perfect for social media if you're wanting to promote your podcast. Uh, just do it
Yeah,
there. You could select landscape, portrait, square.
definitely. Yeah, people love audiograms. People love captions and stuff. It's just such a. I think it's just such a simple but powerful way to create just scroll stopping clips. Most people just upload like really basic, slideshows or one image stuffs and let or use basic captions from TikTok or whatever. This like it just like ups that to the next level. So
Yeah, totally. So check out clips. Very cool. Okay, sweet. The other things. So one thing I wanted to just mention to everybody that may not know or you might not care, but we have a trust center available now. So if you want to go down here, you have our compliance reports like GDPR compliance, going through SOC 2 Type 2 or ISO 27001. So if you're a business and you need some validation on our data handling processes or um, all these sort of compliance reports, you can go to the Trust Center here and look at how we protect your data. So it's,
yeah,
maybe you can convince your boss to use Jellypod now. Um, Good question here. So this is so this is planned for this/next week. So
yeah. This is on my plate. You'll have this soon. So
yeah, I think this is cool. I think also it's like auto clipping maybe like you turn on auto clips. So like after you publish, maybe we just select the best highlights from the podcast. I mean, I don't know. We'll have something like there. So
yeah,
Justin, you're looking at our roadmap.
nice.
Um,
But yeah, I mean,
Sweet.
SOC 2, buttoned up, with professional hair. This is a real company, guys. So,
Yeah.
so
But very okay, cool. So rich text descriptions, trust center, hosts. Let's go to hosts, see something. So this is a sneak peek that we're not going to really talk about on our product updates and changelog yet. So there's been some minor changes to hosts. So if you click on them, you might see this new page. This page didn't exist before. So if you click on the host, you can see the host name, their title. Yeah, Justin, I agree. But okay, see the host name, their title, which is a new field that you can add to a host. You can also add social links to the host, which is very interesting.
yeah.
And you can see
And
the voice
images.
and the
I mean,
backstory
images are new too.
and an image.
Yeah.
And an image. So yeah, the image is new. So
Mm.
some of these things don't really do much yet, but it's
Yeah.
setting the foundation for kind of whatever.
Yeah. You can even share the host if you want to, like, just
Exactly.
send that link. So,
So this is Sarah, a host that I created. She doesn't have an actual avatar photo, but if I click share, you can share this host with your friends. So if you've created a personality, a persona, this host, that you've spent some time crafting their backstory and whatever, you can click on the share link and then you can send this to your friends. And they can see this page, which shows who your host is, what their title is, what their social media links are, their voice, their backstory. And this kind of sets up this kind of future where your hosts or these personas are first-class citizens within Jellypod. So I know Noel, you have your small business cybersecurity guy podcast. You have those characters that you've created. It might make sense to share in the future. It might make sense to share these hosts with your friends or whatever, just to give them more context about who they are. And if they have their own LinkedIn profiles, their own X profiles, their own YouTube accounts, you can actually put those onto the host. And so these hosts become much more than just voices in your podcasts, but actually digital personas that can be used in your podcast, that can have social media accounts, that can have a backstory and a name and all these cool things. So it's really exciting, and we'll go into more depth about why this is important in the coming weeks. But wanted to call this out because it's pretty cool, I think.
yeah. No, definitely. Awesome.
Yeah, so if you, and then also like you don't, by default, all your hosts are private. So when you click share, they have visibility. So if you turn the visibility of your host to private, they're not shareable. Nobody can um, find your host or whatever. But if they're unlisted or public, if you have the link, you can find the host. You can actually customize this alias. So here I changed it to Sarah Whitfield, and that is done when you click edit host. So you have their name, their backstory, which has rich text descriptions too. So, you know, important.
Yeah, it's basically your own like bio, that like website. Just like you can just use it as a link in bio tool for your host, basically.
No, exactly. And so this is like what the title is. This just kind of explains who this person is. It's only on your website, the visibility, the default visibility. The host alias, if you don't select it, will generate one for you randomly, and then their social links. So I just put the link to my Twitter. And the voice models down here in additional settings if you ever need to change it. And cool. And yeah, that's that. Is there anything else that we released?
So many things.
So many things. Our shipping speed will increase, everybody. I have a feeling that 2026 we're going to release 100 new features.
Oh wow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
New feature every 3 days.
Let's do it.
But no, I see that your question, any news on different hosts and their own audio tracks automatically. We're tracking this. There's reasons why we want to get to this, but there's no update here on that. And yeah, I think it's pretty much everything that we released. And you can always see all our product updates here in the bottom left-hand corner. So
Oh yeah, I should make one for the podcast lieutenant. Nice.
yeah, totally. Well, cool. Okay, so any other questions from anybody about anything? Good. Yeah. There's some cool stuff coming out probably next week or the week after and probably the week after and every week after that. So
No, excited. We're excited for 2026. Hopefully, we can keep the momentum going. Jellypod 2025 was awesome, and hopefully 2026 will be even better. So, yeah,
totally. Well, yeah. And thanks, Justin, for hopping on and
yeah. Thank you so much, Justin.
and the rich text descriptions. That comes from you. That was your thing. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think on that note, we'll close off the first weekly Wednesday of 2026 with a bunch of new things. Check it out. Give us feedback. Message us, email us, bug us, follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and yeah, just come join next week. So
Yeah. All right. Sweet. All right, guys.
Cool.
Take care.
okay.